I did want to highlight this New York Times article. One state, two very different views of Minneapolis. And I just want to say, the New York Times, why are you all committed to being dog shit? I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. But the New York Times, in order to examine America's urban rural divide, went to Ye Old Pickle Factory in Nisswa, Minnesota. And you know what? Let's just take a quick gander here at Nisswa, Minnesota. All right. So Nisswa, Minnesota, for those of you who don't know where it is up in the middle of nowhere in, Minnesota, obviously. And it is approximately north of Brainerd, right? It's like right here. And Minneapolis is all the way down here. So it would take you maybe like 4 hours, 3.5 hours to drive from Minneapolis to Nisswa. All right. It's a ways away. And the New York Times was like, well, obviously we have to go to Nisswa in order to examine the urban rural divide. And so they went to a small town bar in Nisswa, Minnesota. Just interviewed people about what they thought about the about ICE agents murdering Renee Good. And they're just like, you obey a law, officer. Well, I don't know what to tell you. You obey the law. But here's what I don't understand, right? Because it's never about examining the rural-urban divide, right? That's not what these pieces are about. These pieces are about pushing a narrative that, for whatever reason, rural voters are more important than urban voters. That in some way, a rural voter is more of a real American compared to what an urban voter is. That, and I gotta be honest with you, that strikes me as it smacks a bit of white supremacy, to be honest, but also it serves the status quo agenda for both the Democrats and the Republicans. And what I mean by that is both the Democrats and Republicans treat rural voters as if they are precious baby ducklings who need to be protected at all costs, while simultaneously fucking all of them over and urban voters over at the same time. It in a way, our political establishment is basically doing that Yojimbo thing, playing the two different factions against each other. I think it was Yojimbo, right? Whatever. So they're just trying to create this divide and maintain it, and in doing so be able to fuck over more people. I'm a rural voter and have voted socialist since 2012. When's my interview? Yeah, exactly. You obey the law, officer, and question it later. I understand that folks in rural areas, they have real concerns that affect their real lives. But a lot of these folks aren't getting ICE officers knocking on their doors in Nisswa, Minnesota. They're not experiencing the absolute horror of someone pulling you over and you haven't done anything wrong. And they say, prove to me you're a citizen, and no matter what documentation you show, it's not good enough. And they're going to haul you down, print you, take your DNA and your picture of your face, and maybe, if you're lucky, let you see your lawyer. They're not dealing with that. So to them, it's like an academic curiosity that's discussed at the bar. These people live out in the middle of nowhere, and they are just terrified of going to the city. Most of the regulars avoid Minneapolis if they can. They see the city as dangerous, out of control, and something to flee. I don't even want to go there, Miss Jensen said of Minneapolis. Not anymore. Not since the George Floyd riots. I worked my butt off to get up here, and there's no way I'm going back. And it's just, these people are terrified to just walk down a city block. They are just terrified And for like no reason. Like, it's perfectly safe to walk around. The only people making it unsafe here are ICE. That's it. The only people making me and my family afraid to walk down the streets of Minneapolis. Not any gangbangers. It's not any, like, homeless people. It's ICE. You know, none of these people have had to seriously engage with ICE, which is why they're like, oh, it's so scary because Somali people are in Minneapolis. Like, they're just scared of people who look different than them. It's just white flight. That's it. And, like, it's very frustrating here. And it's especially frustrating because the message that tends to resonate with these rural voters, right, is that, oh, you're getting shortchanged. You rural voters, you're getting shortchanged. All those city slickers are getting all the sweet, sweet money in their big, fancy cities. And it's coming at your expense. You know, you're getting worse healthcare because of what's happening in those cities. You're getting worse social services because of what's happening in those cities. And that's just a lie. It's just a fucking lie.
It's incredible how much of it just boils down to this.
Conservative guy scared of cities. Saw that thing on the news. Too many of those people there can't park Ford Super Duty, not scared, bro. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It really does boil down to that a lot of the time. But I also want to say that it's bullshit. Like, social services aren't worse in rural counties because cities take more money for themselves. It is actually the opposite. The Minnesota Reformer did an excellent breakdown of this about 2-3 years ago, actually. Twin Cities Metro sends money to rural counties, and it did an excellent breakdown here to show how this all goes, which is basically that rural areas of the of Minnesota pay less in taxes than they receive in aid and credits, and the metro area, the city area, pays more in taxes than they take in aid and credits. So, like, I just want folks to understand that this whole us versus them thing that gets pushed in the mainstream media by places like the New York Times and, like, oh, they have such a different outlook. It's not that different. It's just not. A lot of rural areas are the product of white flight. A lot of rural areas are, in fact, like, benefiting from cities. And but those people in rural areas are being trained by media and by politicians and the folks who show up and talk to them to hate cities. When in reality, what is happening is that the rich and the powerful are just taking from both the rural areas and the cities. That is what is making life in rural areas of this country worse and worse. It's because Republican lawmakers that represent these rural areas at every given turn are fucking over their economically disadvantaged constituents in order to hand bigger and bigger checks to their donors. That's it. It is the same grift that is playing out everywhere else. Right? It genuinely just boils down to that again. It's the same dynamic. It's the same thing at play when they try and turn folks against immigrants. Oh, yeah, your life is bad because that immigrant group over there is doing something. Haha, yeah, that's it. Yeah, the reason your houses are expensive is because that immigrant community is coming in and they're buying up all the houses. That's why the houses are expensive. Haha, not because of, speculation in the housing market, not because of, like, any absurdly wealthy people becoming even more absurdly wealthy. No. It's because of those poor immigrants over there. Oh yeah, your life in a rural county is bad. Oh, it's because of the immigrants, or it's because of those city slickers that, who can't figure out what gender is. Like, it is just exploitation. Which is why I think, again, when we have folks like Chuck Schumer and, these DC consultant types saying, oh, don't say abolish ICE. it's always coming from a corporate donor, in this case, a corporate consultant. Blas Nunez Neto is a senior advisor to West Exec, a shadow lobbyist for defense and tech firms. Oh, that's wild. Defense and tech firms have a vested interest in propping up ICE. Who would have guessed? Thanks, Third Way. And understand that what is happening here is just, hey, how can we squeeze out more money while pitting our voters against each other? And it's why trying to focus on just affordability, which is what these consultants and Third Way are urging people like Chuck Schumer to do. It's why trying to push that doesn't work. Because the end issue isn't just affordability, it's the systemic issues that lead to affordability. It's the systemic issues that lead to housing insecurity. It's the systemic issues that are being pushed by both the neoliberal and the conservative agendas. Because both of those are aligned when it comes to, enriching the wealthiest people in our society. Chuck Schumer isn't actually at war to make things more affordable. That's not his job. That's not why his donors give him money. But that also doesn't mean that every Democrat is evil. There are a lot of folks rising up right now from working class roots to try and primary these corporate Dems. In the House, in the Senate, on the local level. And our job is to get more involved on the local level, where we can exert the most influence, right? And I'm here begging you, encouraging you guys to get more involved so that we can have these anti-corporate Democratic candidates replace our corporately captured, mouthpieces for, insert whatever company you'd like. And we have folks in the community who have dedicated themselves to helping folks who join up get involved with their local DSA and their local Dems. Dragonfly is in chat right now. She has been working for a long time to organize more progressive and leftist elements of the Democratic Party on the local and the state level. And she's willing to help you guys start doing the same thing. The more of us that join, the more of us that get involved, the closer we can get towards the better world we all deserve, whether we are urban or rural, whether we are immigrants or, native born folks. We can help make this happen. So join our Discord. If you don't know where to start, reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. Reach out to GamerG for help with your local DSA. There are a lot of cool folks running in 2026, and we need all the help we can get to get them elected. Yeah, Peggy Flanagan representing Minnesota. Let's go. But there's also a lot of other cool folks. Abdul El Sayed is also very cool. Yeah, by the way, Peggy Flanagan, not taking a dime of corporate cash. Folks, if you want to get involved, reach out to Dragonfly, reach out to GamerG, join the Discord. And folks, if you got anything out of this segment, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment longer than 8 words. It really helps the algorithm for some reason. And also check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Tested on cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is non-tucking lingerie. Check it out. Link should be down in the description. Let's keep on going.
Riverboat deck is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.